Hello friends and welcome. Many of us probably know the harmful effects of pornography on our children. It is a multi-billion industry that has devastated individuals, marriages and families. According to the American College of Paediatricians, consumption of pornography is associated with many negative emotional, psychological and physical health outcomes. These include increased rates of depression, anxiety, acting out and violent behaviour, younger age of sexual debut, sexual promiscuity, increased risk of teen pregnancy, and a distorted view of relationships between men and women. Voyeurism, which includes taking upskirt photos, is a phenomenon that is becoming increasingly prevalent and worrying, and many, if not all, voyeurs have been heavy users of pornography too. As parents, we cannot but be concerned about the negative impacts of pornography on our children. Yet, perhaps the most objectionable aspect of pornography is how it causes us to regard people as objects for our own gratification, rather than persons who, made in the image and likeness of God, are meant to be loved and not to be used. How prevalent is pornography among our children? A local survey in 2016 indicated that 91% of teenage boys and 35% of teenage girls had watched or read sexually explicit materials within the previous year. By now, the statistics are likely to be worse. The ease of access to online pornography and the easy availability of digital devices has made it that much more difficult to protect our children from accessing its harmful content. I've often shared with my wife how easy it would have been for me to go the wrong way if I were a teen in today's world. What then can we do to protect our children from the scourge of pornography? It won't be easy, but our children are worth whatever it takes to help them live the meaning of their bodies according to God's design, to help them appreciate and live human love in His divine plan. Allow me to propose the following for your consideration. 1. As with so many topics we have dealt with before, we will need a good parent-child bond. For this reason, I invite you once again to visit episodes 8 to 17 of the series, if you haven't done so, where we discuss the ABCs of bonding with our children, and episodes 18 to 26, where we discuss the topic of talking to them about sexuality. 2. Affirm them of their goodness. God doesn't make junk. They need to know they are good, they are unique, they are irreplaceable, they are lovable. And others are too, since we are all made in the image and likeness of God. This leads us to 3. Show and teach them respect and love for others from as early as possible. 4. Do not indulge their wants, giving them whatever they want in an instant all the time. It is important for them to learn delayed gratification and gradually develop the virtue of temperance. 5. Set up filters and accountability software in our homes and devices. We covered this in our previous episode. 6. Make use of teachable moments when these present themselves. For example, when watching TV together and certain scenes pop up, reading newspaper articles with them, or observing events that have happened to people around us. These chats do not have to be long. They shouldn't be long. Just enough to communicate the main message. They learn better with frequent short chats and not long chats that are far and few in between. 7. Create a home environment that promotes open, honest, and warm communication with our children from young. Provide them with a safe space that encourages them to share anything with us without feeling condemned. Remember, while we may provide an environment at home that filters out pornography, they are still in contact with friends and relatives outside who may not have the same level of protection. It is possible they might still be exposed in one way or another. And this leads us to the next point, 8. Encourage them that should they come across pictures of nudity or people who are inappropriately dressed in any form of media, They should guard their eyes, put these aside, and let us know. And when they do tell us, we're not going to reprimand them or they may never report this to us again. Instead, we thank them for being honest and bringing this up to us. Then seek to understand the circumstances in which this happened, which often is accidental in the first instance, and even traumatic to their young eyes, as my children have shared with me before. Tell them that they should give these persons their privacy, and that the private parts shown should remain private for that person and not be seen by others. Then let them know we are there to love them, support them, and journey with them, and share with them how they can avoid such exposure in future. It is always important to let them know we are there for them and with them on this journey. 9. Be good role models for our children. How we respect and regard others, how we look at women, how we love each other as husband and wife, and how we love other people around us, how we use our devices, whatever we say and do in these areas, we can be sure our children are watching and learning from. Finally, 10. Pray always for our children. I remember I was exposed to so many negative influences outside the home when I was young. Bad company, friends who cracked obscene jokes whenever the opportunity presented, a neighbor who tried to introduce me to smoking, gangs and gang fights that happened rather frequently enough downstairs from where we lived. I do not know how I managed to survive all these. I can only attribute it to my mother's constant prayers for me and my siblings, and God's abundant mercy and grace, no less. And it is God's grace that we must depend on and cooperate with to help us survive parenting in the digital era. Till we meet again, take care and God bless you and your family always. If you found this video useful, I invite you to put a like to it, subscribe to our channel, and share it with others whom you think will benefit from it. God bless you always.